Guys, welcome back to episode 16 of Bros with Brains. What? Did I fuck it up?
Man, seriously, why do you both not acknowledge the females? It's always guys.
This guy.
Guys.
I feel like
This is how we started off.
Universal terminology.
They won't say that.
Guys
I mean the
girls,
females.
Welcome back to episode 16 of Bros with Brains. I'm joined with my illustrious co-hosts, Benjamin Button and ESC.
Doesn't get a name anymore. Just initials. Not even real initials, just his business.
Man, I'll take it. That'll do. What's up,
Ben,
kids?
you see one of these tees as well. This when we just trained legs before, Az was rocking one of these Matter Athletico.
Mate, they're pretty tidy, right?
Yeah, they're fucking beautiful.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my other four that are supposed to be coming, but it's okay.
Mate, they're coming, right? Other four? We fucking released one other shirt and it's on its way.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a little bit slow at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking horrendous, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's been going on, children? How is Queensland, Benjamin? Boring as usual.
Mate, no, we're getting rolled up, mate. Queenslanders, they're fired up. We had our vaccination. What's the word? Allowance.
Or did they mandate them up there finally?
Yeah, what you're allowed to do and not do if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, mate. The people are out in force. Oh, the posts went wild on fucking social media.
Yeah, right.
Fucking either side of the coin, there's no in between. You're either fucking ready to fight the government.
You out in force joining the protests?
Yeah, that's it, mate. I was like, oh, all right, here we go. Queensland is starting to get some balls about them, but it's not really a big deal. But everyone's making it a big deal.
I imagine it's going to be the same as most of the East Coast, right? You're vaccinated, you can do shit. Unvaccinated, you can't do it.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it's a weird thought. Your social obligations to be responsible. You have them. Who'd have thought?
Mate, I need everyone to get vaccinated so I can come back for Christmas.
I need to get vaccinated so I just get trapped in your fucking city.
I haven't seen my family in about a year.
They're cheering.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank fuck for that.
Finally locked away.
Can we do another pandemic?
Just so we can't see the fam.
But it's all right. Everything else is normal. I think it's like second week of December, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I'm due for my vaccinations and stuff. I'm not against it. I was a little bit eerie. Full disclosure, like my autoimmune disease, I've just read a bit of research where some of the potential side effects interact with the white blood cells and autoimmune response. That's kind of maybe a little bit iffy. But when uni's over, I'm just going to go get some checkups with the doctor and see exactly what the potential cause or effects is. And then
it becomes like superhuman strength. Just turns into the Hulk without turning.
Also just normal.
Aaron was telling me after his dose, he hit a 4-plate hack. So
yeah,
correlation.
I've PB'd after each injection. I've PB'd, mate. mRNA for the win, bro. It's anabolic. I was saying to Chris this morning, I'm just going to keep getting booster shots every week before my legs. Like fuck,
booster shots. That's a weird way to say trend.
I'll mix the test and the trend and the mass into the shot and have it with mRNA, and we'll just find out what happens. I'm just going to send it.
Hyperbolic booster shot.
Yeah, the hyperbolic tire chamber.
Yeah, that's it.
Goes in the doctor for an hour, comes out with a year's worth of growth.
It looks like 100%. Chris Evans coming out of the fucking thing as Captain America.
I'll come out with my hair straight up like gold.
Fuck.
But anyway, been training much?
Yeah, still got all my sessions in. Just started a new block this week. We spent the last 4 blocks on different varieties of leg focus. So actually going to get a nice, decent upper body focus this time, which will be fun. So sort of feeling like my legs are actually outgrowing my upper body for once, which has never, ever been a case in the human history of me. So that'll be a nice change of pace to feel like they're keeping up.
What are you running at the moment?
Just test.
Hey? I meant training wise.
I'm so used to Scappy just saying that. What are you using?
So I actually talk about just training nutrition before anything else. So then,
yeah, I'm the one that's obsessed with drugs. Chris is the one that's obsessed with all. Chris is the good boy. I'm the bad one.
So yeah, we're doing some shoulder and arm volume to focus for this block, which will be good. So I feel like I'm just not quite capping as much as I want to with how much my hammies and quads have grown. So I'm going to keep those proportions and get nice and wide.
Oh, beautiful. And see, you're season B, right? Coming into season B.
Yeah, I'll do season B. I want another good
Super
pair.
heavyweight. 120 kilos.
Fuck, I wish. Fucking 20 IU of growth a day between now and then.
All right, Rich Piana.
We all know how that
go down to Brazil and get those nice oily arms.
Yeah, we know how that turned. We know how that turned out.
But yeah, so that'll be the focus for the next probably finish out the year. Like I'll still keep upper volume of legs just to maintain and keep growing what's been happening, but put in some extra volume through arms and shoulders as well. Get some nice sick cap delts happening for once and be nice and round for prep.
Sounds like fun. Do you know when you're going to start actually prepping, like your cut?
It'll depend how composition changes. Like I said, literally 3 seconds ago, not running much at the moment, so there's still plenty of room to recomp and use some extra esters and stuff to throw in there. So it'll just depend how composition changes between, I'd say, start of next year and March, April. So it gives me just...
How boring is it being on HRT, TRT?
I know. It's so fucking boring.
Thank you.
It's so fucking boring. It's like, some test. Cool, bro. Yeah. I'm maintaining what I've got through just adherence, sleep, and training. Oh, lucky me.
Yeah. Whoop-de fucking do, bro.
Yeah. Look at me, bro. I do things properly. Oh. But yeah, so that'll
being healthy and maintaining mass was a thing.
I saw a question. I think it was someone's question was like, what happens if you lose muscle when you stop taking your substances? And someone was just like, you didn't train properly. You just drugged your way to growth. That's it. Oh, shocking.
Right.
So that'll be I'd say probably like March, April, see what composition's like, and then probably I think season B next year is more towards November, October again.
What's the goal? Are you coming to take the entire division? It's like Conor McGregor, the champ.
Mate, I come to win. If I lose, I lose. But I'm going to lose because someone just straight up either out-drugged or out-beat me. So that's going to be the goal.
And under 100s, you say?
Yeah, I'll look at under 100s purely because at this point, if I fucking even if it means I come in at 92, 93, I'd rather come in like a shredded 93 than push further to go to under 90s. Goal will be mid-90s, just recomping there, just fucking getting shredded to mid-90s. We'll just see what drugs and body fat does.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like it's definitely not going to be the year I take a fucking title. I don't think, but I mean every instance is going to be towards that. Like goal will eventually get to at 5'9.5", we'll say 5'10".
Yeah.
Like I want to push to 99, like a fucking shredded 99 before I worry about super heavies.
Yeah, fair. You're going to run the Miller's protocol of 100 IU of slim.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Right before stage too.
Oh, you could turn yourself into Regan Grimes. 0 to hero.
In the space of 2 weeks.
Just fucking, oh, fuck, not in that. Like his whole period where he went back to classic, lost all that size and then had to come back again. It's like, bruh, he's wasted so much time.
I heard he went over to Kuwait and whatever the fuck they did to him in Kuwait, it just fucked him. Because he come back and he's like, I don't want to do bodybuilding anymore.
I'm walking around with everything corked all the time.
Yeah, they completely
lock you in that little room and just force you to eat, sleep, and train. And you're not allowed outside.
The funny thing is that's what they're paying for.
It's true. I mean,
people that go there, they pay the fee.
Curry and those guys love it. Like,
yeah. Like Curry's thing was like, I spent 6 months of my life last year when he won an Olympia. Like 6 months of his year was spent in Kuwait without seeing his family.
He has like a family, like 4 kids, just like,
Hey guys, so I'm going to give you Mr. Olympia. I'm about.
You'll be right.
Yeah. I'll be sure to transfer the money so that you can buy the kid shit.
Yeah, he looks like he's doing all right for himself. He looks so snazzy at the Olympia.
I think he's got a clothing company that sponsors him.
Bro, he walked out with, I don't know why, but he walked out with a bag in his hand at the press conference.
He looked like Mr. Money in the Bank from like WWE. Like he's holding.
What has he got? Is this full of cash or something? Is this fucking money in the bank?
He's got the contender contract ready to call it in when he wants to.
I expected someone to run on with a steel chair and whack him.
He's going to hear the glass shatter and just Stone Cold come out.
Just the cage starts coming down from the top.
Hell in the cell. Rey Mysterio, 619.
It's a 270-pound version.
And then you just hear, do you smell?
Imagine Rey Mysterio like 619ing someone that's like 270, 80 pounds. That would be the funniest thing I'd ever see.
I feel like, didn't he do it to like The Undertaker and Triple H?
Oh, he would have done it to all Big Show? Big Show's like
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, did
It's
he get
because
jacked as well?
wrestling is real. It's not fake.
The wrestling is real.
Didn't the Big Show lose a shit ton of weight?
He did
Yeah,
actually.
he's jacked as fuck.
Yeah.
Good call on
weird.
his part. Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The less dying part's really good for him.
Yes,
Which I'm sure we will probably cover today at some point.
Yeah.
Well, it's like,
I feel like
As
we're
we do
due for
every
that
episode.
episode. Hey, I feel like we're due for that episode.
like how not to die.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't even think it was going to be the point of today's chat, but I mean, it's just getting to a point where, like, what's the word? It's the return plane bias, where people just focus on the people who did die as opposed to focusing on everyone that doesn't. And so they just become fixated on the fact, like, you see 2 or 3 big names and they drop dead and cark it. And like we said in the chat, there's different reasons why, potential side effects that athletes have. But all the news covers is the people who did die, but then don't mention the fucking people who didn't, and like people who do it properly, and the people who actually have correct or logical protocols. And then all the news gets and all the people get a view of is, oh, hey, bodybuilders die. Cool, bro. So do fucking every other athlete in every other sport.
Athlete, or even just general people. How many people die at 40 from being overweight?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think it was like the leading cause of death in America is like cardiovascular disease.
Yeah, CBD, obesity, and smoking.
Yeah, from obesity, isn't it?
Yeah. Obesity, blood plasma, and smoking.
No one wants to blame smoking and alcohol, do they? It's that tax elephant in the room that just earns too much money for the government.
Yeah. Yeah, that old tax bill's too good.
Yeah. What we're going to talk about today, Benjamin, I think you were wanting, again, rolled up as usual.
I'm fucking rolled up.
How you rolled up? How are you rolled up on TRT, bro? Like, you need to just chill, man.
I'm not even using a trend yet. What is this shit? Someone's getting punched when I do. No, I'm kidding. They're not. I'm too placid to care.
TV will be getting smashed off the wall.
Fuck this shit.
Yeah. Every time I just scroll through Instagram looking for stuff to talk about, I'm just actually ripping that off the wall. Just getting the shits.
Bro, it still looks so big. I would love to see the size of your room and just
it's not big. It's the master of the apartment, but it's not big. It's fucking not big.
My mattress, about the room, or
also my penis size, but my mattress, the bed is a double queen. I think it is a thing. I don't know. That's a thing.
Told that it's adequate.
Yeah, it's adequate. It's adequate bedding.
It gets the job done.
It's adequate. Not too big, not too small.
Exactly.
Just
too big and it hurts. Too big and it hurts. You want that Goldilocks zone.
The Goldilocks phenomena.
Yeah, exactly. Like, girls are lying when they say they want big. Like, they want big. It's just it's lie.
If it was too big, what are they going to do with it? They're just going to look at it and be like, "Oh, that's cool." But it's
trying to wrestle a fire hose. What are you doing?
Like, that's cool.
I want you to wrestle it.
You just drop your dax, like, thumbs up.
That's cool.
I'm out.
Just turn the nozzle and watch it go.
It's like one of those things. You know those things that have out like the front of shops where they're like,
the Godfrey
crazy wacky inflatable alarm guy.
Yeah.
Like inflatable things. They're fucking gold. Reminded me of a giant semi-flaccid penis.
But yeah, what were we talking about?
Anyway,
to get actually on the point of conversation, Jesus Christ. Well, the first point, because I feel like there's going to be a few in this chat, is fucking charging premium coaching services for just dog shit services provided. Like fucking a premium prep price, because I don't know about you guys. Do you guys charge extra for prep clients, general pop clients, or is it just a standard fee?
A standard fee for me.
Yeah, standard fee. I know some people do increase the prices closer to competition, which, I mean, obviously because you're going to have to do more for that client, I suppose. Just a lot more nitty things. People have more questions, that sort of thing, coming into prep. But I generally charge the same price just because I don't necessarily coach for the money either, So I do it because I genuinely want to help people. I want to put people on stage in the best way and best shape and conditioning that I possibly can. So not a monetary driven thing. So I'm just like, I couldn't be fucked increasing prices.
But yeah, well, I mean, like these guys that I've seen that I saw aren't a cheap price. Like I would say it puts them in the premium realm. And I saw the check-in on the Sunday was sent as a text message of 5 questions. Text message of 5 questions. That's it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know what fucking data you're correlating out of 5 questions that are answered with words. So not statistics, not numbers, not quantitative like replies, just words. And that's it. I was like, I saw this. And I'm like, if you're in prep getting this, fucking stop. just find someone else like that. Just find anyone else, or just ask other questions, or fucking.
The problem is that they just don't have they have no understanding of what like a good coaching practice should be. So they've got no comparison or no prior knowledge of what it should look like in terms of like a weekly check-in, or like, why would you just continue to stay with someone that's like, oh, here's these 5 questions, answer them. I guarantee someone that's doing that probably forgets half the time to even send that text message, to send the questions through.
Yeah.
They'll just change stuff when you ask them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my question would be, is the coach or the business, is it like is it IFBB pros? Is it anyone that's got any sort of credibility?
Naming names, Ben. Are you naming names?
No, don't have to name names. I'm just curious because
fucking call them out.
Like, is it their name that's bringing in clients, or are they still, getting results and that's what's bringing clients?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was the largest following, but also the results I saw of the person weren't like astounding.
Yeah, so that's what I wonder. I wonder if it's like, when we were looking, I think we've had this chat a few times, but when we're looking for, I guess, sources for whatever it is that we want to look for, we tend to go by, if we're especially using social media, we look at, their Instagram profile, and it's like, if this person sends 5 question check-ins, but has clients on clients that, make it to stage or get results, whether it's a Gen Pop client losing weight, well, I mean, yeah, like we can disagree with the methods, but however the methods work for the client, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's kind of like, I agree. I think, 5 questions and then there's no subjective or objective measures. No objective measures and only subjective, I think is a bit carefree. Mm-hmm. However, does it get the client the result? And that's all the client's paying for. Well, yeah, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world for them. That is, again, from our backgrounds, we're just like, you're a fucking moron and you should be, definitely looking after your client's health. At the same time, if the client doesn't want their health looked after and they just want a result, well, I mean, they're just working within their confines, right?
Yeah, I mean, it makes complete sense. Like, obviously apply the method that resonates with your client, but at the same time, like, standardized sheets that you can look back. Like, what are you going to do there? You're going to scroll back through 30 messages, like 30 weeks of check-ins, and be like, oh, well, this week at this point you said this. Like, a sheet that you can duplicate and copy and study just provides you with a single source location of information and go, all right, well, at this week we did this and I noticed this, we changed your food here and you started feeling this, you had more bloat or more stress or gastric intestinal issues, digestive problems. We can adjust accordingly. We can change the sources of carbs here because I saw this happen. If you just got 5 questions, man, and you're sending that on a Sunday, like, what are you talking between then? What are you saying to each other between then? Like, you're losing those conversations. You're going to go back. Are you correlating that yourself, then put it into charts and sheets? Or are you just like, sweet, I've got a reply and I know that she had a good week? Like that.
Yeah, I don't disagree, man. It's an interesting take, I guess, being so result focused. And it's like, if the client's getting the result and that's all there, and it's like such minimum effort from the coach, it's kind of like, yeah, maybe the coach doesn't need to be charging as much as they're charging because the effort and the level of service they're giving doesn't match their price potentially. But at the same time,
that good money and they're getting the result.
Well, they're paying for that result, right? And it's funny working back with Gen Pop and stuff like that in group sessions, like the amount of money that you could charge them because all they want is a result and they don't care about the rest.
Yeah. Just it I don't know. It's just such an iffy context of like, what, and because then you have to criterize what result means. Like, does that client just want to get to stage and that's it? Or do they want to get to stage and be competitive? Do they want to get to stage and the best possible chance to win? Do they want to come in as peeled as possible? Like, all these questions then that defines result, which then would define your criteria of what you're asking for across the week and the level of information you're trying to get. Because then if you don't get that information, how the fuck do you manipulate things?
Yeah, I think as well, man, it's like with obviously the coaching process too, a big part of it is coaching the personality. So there's going to be different clients that obviously respond better to different methods. Obviously us three, we're all very analytically minded, very numbers orientated. We like to collect data and make decisions based on that. But in saying that too, I've also seen some very good coaches that are just able to make adjustments on the fly. So a couple of clients that, I've obviously had a hand in kind of prepping in like a consultancy type of position and just, what do you think of this? What do you think of that kind of thing? Mm-hmm. Like some clients just wouldn't collect that data. It doesn't mean that they're not good athletes. And often the ones that are extremely genetically gifted, that couldn't give a flying fuck about tracking this, tracking that. You just tell them, okay, eat this, eat this, eat this, train here, train here, train here, train here. This is your split, run this. And they just do it, and they don't want to track any data. And if the whole process becomes too complicated for them and there's too much for them to look at, they'll just get bored and won't do it. It's not to say they won't make it to the stage and be in good condition, but could they be better? Absolutely. But given their personality and given their reliance on their own genetic capabilities, they're often very lazy when it comes to that sort of thing. So I found the best athletes that, I suppose I like working with are the ones that are very analytically minded and are the ones that do like collecting data, because it's easier for me to make decisions based on what I'm seeing. Yeah. But in saying that, I've also, coached and seen people that work better with a minimalistic approach to check-ins, minimalistic approach to everything. It's just, here's your plan, execute it.
Yeah, I mean, and then the other side to that is if we're looking at somebody that's taking a more serious approach in terms of wanting to go to stage, for example, as their goal, we do know that both subjective and objective markers are going to be completely different. And especially if you get someone that trains and likes to train and train hard, it's kind of like, how are you feeling? Yeah, I feel good. Like, I feel like I haven't trained that much. Let's go a bit. Like, their blood pressure's through the roof. Their resting heart rate's through the roof. Their blood glucose is through the roof. They're not adding any like tonnage to the workouts. And it's like, you're probably time to deload.
Yeah.
You tell the client, like, maybe you need to deload. And the client's like, nah, fuck that. I'm going hard. I'm saying I don't do that, but just, like.
How were you feeling this morning, Aaron?
Pre-workout, I was fucked. Post-workout, I was fucked. So just constantly fucked. You know what I mean? So it's a weird one that if you know your client well enough, then take whatever approach you want. It's just much easier to have more data.
Yeah, just standardizing things and like you said, having a couple of options for people, but at the same time, like, where are you going back to correlate that information? And how are you going to then quantify that information you've gotten from it? Like I said, let's say there's a text message, like, how are you basing like this week's level of feeling good versus the other week's level of feeling good if in those same weeks you also aren't asking about like stress measures, or you aren't asking about sleep measures, or you aren't asking about like food intolerances or anything like that, where there's a multitude of systematic interactions, and you're not asking those, or getting to those questions or getting those numbers. So you can't really go, well, they said they feel good this week, but as you said, looking at those numbers, it actually looks like you're shit. Versus the week before, you said you feel good and it actually looked like you were good. So, it's kind of hard then to actually give a valued response to your client for what they're paying for. Yeah, you might think that it's easy for them because they don't want to answer the questions, but sometimes they kind of need to answer the questions, especially when we start playing with drugs.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And that's why,
especially when you start introducing that I said that compound to it, but especially when you start introducing that factor, it's just, again, whether they want to or not, I suppose you have a duty of care to that client to then
100%,
annoy them to the point where it's like, mate, we need this information because fuck, like you're my responsibility. I'm looking after you with this process. So like you whether you want to or not, just give me the blood pressure, give me blood glucose, give me some blood work, and just shut the hell up.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna do this,
I'll leave you the fuck alone after this.
But you're an adult. Like you should be doing this stuff. Like it's not a toy,
Yeah. And that's just it. Well, then we have like people out there that, they jump on forums and stuff, and it's like, what should you do for your first fucking cycle? 600 milligrams a test. It's like, probably not. But, it's like, it's funny. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, Nick Walker talking about, I think he was doing a leg session maybe. And he's like, I don't track my weights. Doesn't track his sessions.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I don't track my sessions. And then he went on to say that the best pros don't track their sessions. Just like, that's that's where people are getting their info from, like these pros and these, high level people that are just dishing out information that's completely and utterly bullshit and wrong.
You're literally looking at something like that and like a pro, and you don't know what their supplement stack is.
Yeah.
And it's like they can physically recover from anything. So it's like, of course they don't need to track their weights. They can throw everything in the kitchen sink at it. They're taking that much stuff that they don't even need to worry.
They get shot by a gun and they're going to bounce back. That oil's just solidified in their system.
It's now become adamantium, so they're fine.
Legit. How did you recover so quick? 20 IU of growth and 10 mil a week. Okay, fair enough.
Can't argue with that.
It's a handy cycle. But so it's just, like people getting where they get their information from, and then from there, it's like it trickles down. So like, do I blame the coaches for getting away with charging more and doing less. I mean,
it's business.
They want to do that. At some point, they'll get either found out or they won't, and they'll just be able to continue on and, blaze on through. It's like, cool, man, you do you.
It kind of depends, and also where like your moral principles lie, right? Like you're as a coach per se. I mean, like if you're in charge of
doing that, what's
that?
I just feel like a piece of shit doing something.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. That's the entire point. Is that like you kind of then as a business, like I treat everyone as a reflection of my business, but also like your entire experience is my priority. Like how you interact with me, how I interact with you, what you get out of me, like the value I offer you. I still to this day, like I get clients, I'm feeling like I'm not doing enough for them, like because they're just adhering to shit, sticking to things. I'm like, fuck, what else can I do for these guys? Because they're nailing it and I don't have to do much from like, but I've put everything in place so early on that like when there is a hiccup, I get straight on it and try and figure out a new form or a new system I can ask questions and figure stuff out. But like I tried to standardize things as quickly as possible to make sure that everything is covered. And if there's something new, then it's easy to kind of like mitigate and respond to. But these guys are just kind of like, sending 5 questions and maybe a check-in form if they're lucky that it's more than the questions. But like, I just morally would feel shit. Like there's no way I'm maximizing what I can do for them for what they're paying if that's all you're sending.
Yeah, I remember having a client. He started with me, decided to start a cut, and I think I set the calories, I set everything up. And I didn't change a single thing for 10 weeks because he just kept losing weight.
Fuck, like, how good.
It's just like I'm hungry, like, hunger scores and everything, like not all the same, everything. But his weight just kept going and going. His photos just kept sucking in and in. I'm like, I can't do much more for you, bro. Like, I'm not going to take away food.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change this because all we're doing is working. So if it's not broken, why the fuck would I try and fix it? It's like, I wish I could give you more, but we got this right from day one. So just keep going.
This until it fucks
up. Like loses 10 kilos in 10 weeks. And it's just like, okay.
But that I feel is a reflection of the fact that morally you've provided so much to all of your clients that you're able to identify markers and tricks and like have those systems in place so that because you're willing to go into more information and get that extra data, you can correlate it to similar people or like, you can start to make associations to new clients and you can go, all right, I think this is the best approach based on what I've got from everyone else. And I'm going to give you the bang for your buck straight off the bat, and you just get a good process. Like that's good coaching. That's like a good coaching practice. You're not sort of like
experience.
Exactly. But also like the fact that from day one or like, as soon as you recognize, you started asking the right questions and getting the right information out of your clients to get those results.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just funny. Just every check-in was just like 30 seconds. It's like, do it again. You're doing well. Do it again. Do it well. Do it again.
Man, that's what I love. Like, I know you guys said last week that it'll change, but I love phone calls at the moment because I'm just like, I just use it to teach them stuff. Like, it makes the rest of the week super easy where I don't have to like, not that they don't hassle me, but they get the answers to their questions and then they just apply for the week. I'll give them, allocate them homework that I want you to try this week. And like, might be try this sleep reduction technique or try this tracking technique and see how you feel stepping outside of your box from like going from a rigid mindset to tracking some pancakes or something on a Sunday and just getting them out of just being completely yes or no or all or nothing. But like using that time to, rather than teach basics or like, answer silly questions, I'm teaching them stuff and then they can go away and apply it for the week. And then the week just get better and the results just keep coming and I don't have to do much. I only got 3 clients now. I haven't touched their calories or food since week 1. That's like 5 weeks in.
Yeah, that happens.
Those clients will stay for a long time. The reason that, my retention rate is so high is because I really try to have a personal relationship with every single client when it comes on board. So, a lot of people, like most people are with me on average at least 6 to 12 months, at least. Some people have been on for 3 or 4 years, but the only issue with that is like, at what point are you like continuing to expand your services and continue to grow and help more people? That's the only kind of thing there is it's like, do you kind of want to get them ready to a point where they're like, okay, they're ready to go, or as in like they can kind of move on and, continue to coach themselves, or do they, do you just keep them on and just continue to coach them as it is? So what do you think about, I suppose, that concept in that, it's great to have that personal relationship with your clients, but then if you find you're in a position where there's nothing more you can do for them, then, kind of what do you do?
I mean, I would look at Like it depends. Like I believe in the teaching model that the whole point of coaching is to get to a point where you're teaching someone not to need you and they come to you simply for adherence and like guidance. And then on top of that, it might result to like once a month consults or check-ins. Like that is more than enough. If they're doing your own, if they've still got your sheets and stuff, they can be doing their own data metrics and analysis. You've taught them over 3 or 4 years, or 2 years, you've taught them enough that they're on the go making their own decisions and they've learned enough. Then a month by month check-in should be sufficient, unless there's like obviously prep periods coming up where it's like, right, 12 to 20 weeks or whatever it is, where you actually got to be monotonously advising and observing information. But once it gets to a point where they're self-sufficient, self-autonomous and like sort of determining where they want to go, monthly check-in should be plenty.
That's for me, man. Like I love the thrill of working with like prep clients and high-level hypertrophy guys. Mm-hmm. Just because you continue to work on things, continue to, specificity blocks for this and bring up muscle groups here. And you can work with them for, 3, 4, 5 years and really create them into the athlete that they want to be.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I've also worked with a ton of Gen Pop guys, which my main primary focus for them is, in sort of that 12 to 20 weeks or, 6 months or whatever I have with them, teach them as much as possible surrounding the education process, the macro tracking process, get to a position where everything's kind of autonomous. They know how to track really, really well, because so many guys that come to me, their biggest issue is they just don't know how to track properly.
Yeah.
They're just leaving. There's so many calories that they're consuming here and there. And it's just these little things that people are like, oh, well, tracking macros doesn't work for me. But, people actually generally realize, oh, well, it actually does. It's just I was consuming so much more food than what I thought I was. So that's often with those Gen Pop guys. But literally once they're in a position that in that 12 weeks or 16, 20 weeks where, they've maybe lost 5 to 10 kilos, they're now in an autonomous position that they know how to train. They know how to, obviously you can continue to work on form and stuff. But if they're a Gen Pop guy, like they really need to be training 3 or 4 days a week for the rest of their life. They're not really going to be 5 or 6 days, heavy cardio sessions. But most of the time, they still want to live a life outside of training. So that's why, over the
priority isn't training, right?
Yeah, exactly. The last year or two, I've kind of transitioned more to the contest prep space only. I was always in the contest prep space a lot, but now it's more, a lot more of my guys, like over half my roster now is strictly contest prep only. And I fucking love it. Like I really do.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Fucking Scaffy.
Cool.
He's just like the wise old grandmaster that just
wise old Al. Yes,
I agree. Yes, I'm making you enough for your camera views.
What would you say in the gym today? That the Wagga
the anabolic Wagga origine.
Oh fuck!
That's it.
So accurate.
My quads were so pumped, and I'm like, I bet you haven't seen an indigenous person with quads this jacked up. I'm like, yeah, there you go.
Still haven't.
Yeah, it's true.
To be fair, he said that.
Wait until you're down here, and I'm doing fucking leg extensions naked, bro.
Well, that was the only reason I was coming.
Oh yeah, should we tell listeners that that's special?
Oh yeah. I mean, we left out that fun part. That's fucking the funnest part of the whole chat. We literally just spur of the moment decided that we're going to do a live in-person bro chat, Australian bro chat, bros with brains in Melbourne. So yeah, just decided that, you'd get vaccines and make sure I don't get locked down in your shitty state. And I'll come down and say good day and we'll do a weekend of training and content and talk some shit.
Should be fun.
Join me and what we do on a daily basis.
So basically just take our Instagram chat and just make it real life for a weekend.
And just record it.
Yeah. I mean, so if there's anyone listening who's like into videography and filming and shit, I mean, it's probably a good idea to reach out because it'd be a sick content to get for the weekend.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm going to try and tee up with Mike if we can use upstairs to actually record at the gym, but we'll see how we go. Should be.
You strip down in your underwear, Ben, and take you through your.
Oh, true. Little posing room. We can jump in the posing room.
That was just your room. The bed we're sharing.
It is.
That should be in good shape by then, actually. That'll be like, what, 10 weeks out or something?
For you?
It's January.
Yeah, it'll be January. So I'll be in some good shape.
Very much. Yeah.
I'll be very disappointed if you're not. States in March.
It's just like hitting the
really started yet,
Yeah, just hitting his poses and me and Ben just looking at each other.
We're waiting until like 10 weeks out to really charge in,
We're going to do the Chris Bumstead diet of 1,600 calories for 10 weeks.
I'll tell you. 1,600.
He really suffered that prep, didn't he? He really he was
Chris
talking
wants
hard
to suffer,
about,
so
he was talking hard about like his emotional breakdowns and shit during prep. Like he was crying in the shower and stuff. And I'm like,
yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I mean, fair enough. Like embracing your emotions and stuff. And I'm like, but how much of that was just because you just did 1,600 calories? Like,
yeah,
cuts earlier and just not do 1,600
Give yourself
calories.
an extra 4 to 6 weeks, and you don't have to fucking cry in the bathroom.
Yeah, that 1,600 turns into 2,000 pretty quickly.
Yeah, fucking. Anyway, but yeah, so that should be a bit of fun. We'll have the live chat and training sessions. So we'll should we put Ben through a leg session?
Yeah, we'll save it for like a. I mean, I don't obviously know what program it'll be at that point, but we'll see.
We'll change the rotation for that week and put him on a leg session. Put him on a cyber attack and see how he goes.
Should be at 10 plates by then.
Yeah, finally gets up to 3 after 12 months of like coming back from knee problem. Sorry, 12 months, but we'll say 9, 6 or 9 of fucking knee pain and back pain. But yeah, we'll be up to 10 plates.
Yeah, fuck it. Send it.
Big deal.
What's the point?
Just slip 3 discs and see what happens.
Just make sure you load up all your oils beforehand, and when you get back, it's fine.
Bulletproof.
Pre and post recovery. And we'll take care of the intra. Just take this tablet. What is it? Vitamin C. Why is it green? It's not Halo, I swear. It's not Halo. I promise.
Fuck yes. Yes. Such a good time on that.
Halo is an interesting time, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's strength response is fucking phenomenal. I love it. Just be prepared to punch everyone.
Chris, you've never used Halo, have you?
No, sir.
We should use it as a pre-workout for fun. Let's do it next leg
Tell
session.
Dean you're getting now 10 of those for a week.
Man, I can't even imagine. Just a message you back from him, he'd be like, "You're not doing that." And I'm like,
I'll message him, Dean. I've just got some ideas. I just want to try them. Don't be a fucking pain in my ass.
Chris is getting stronger. It's got nothing to do with this tablet.
It's just on leg sessions as pre-workout. I mean, it's either that or injectable D-bol. And let's be real, no one wants to do that.
Fuck that. Oh, nah, dog.
Only the pumps are sick on that.
I have to take your word for it.
Yeah, I've never used it. So
cannot confirm the source.
Cannot confirm nor deny said source. No.
Correct. I mean, it was a pretty quick ramble through our I don't know. I guess it's just because
how about your mate with Hargrave's disease?
Hargrave's or Graves?
Oh, Graves.
Oh yeah. I mean, fuck. Now we can get into that message I sent. Like the just that whole mentality just fucking kills me. Like, just stop looking to be a victim. That's literally it. Stop when it comes to anything around. Like, if you choose to train, if you choose to compete, if you choose to do anything in this space, stop looking to be a victim and find an excuse to get out of it. Either realign why you chose to do it or understand it. But I mean, very simple issues or complexes or disease because it's minuscule at best. Give or take the spectrum of extremity of, I guess, that diagnosis. Not everything is preventing you from living your life. Not everything is out to get you and going to stop you from fucking doing the things that you're meant to do. Like, you don't need to always find a reason to just come up with an excuse. Like, just sometimes shit's hard and you got to fucking do it. Like, it's really not a complex thought process. Things are going to get in the way. Cool. Do you want to do it or not? Yes.
For me, it was the whole having Graves and then complaining that it took time away from your aspirations to get lean or to get on stage. It's like, you have elevated thyroid. Like, if anything, you don't have to do anything and still get lean. Like, you're kind of living the dream, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, hold on.
When it comes to a metabolic response pathway, you're kind of like, so you're a benefit.
Yeah, you're kind of living the dream. All you need to do is eat more food than the average human. It's like,
I can't do that. That's way too much. That's way too much effort.
That's too extreme.
When I was reading it, I'm kind of like, I don't see the problem here. And I feel like most people reading that would be like, I wish I had that.
I think the issue lies too in what like say you attend a specialist and you get a diagnosis of something. often they'll present to you the most extreme of consequences from this issue happening. Like regardless of like what your degree of like diagnosis is, here's the potentials. This is what can happen. You physically can't do this now for the rest of your life. Like I fucking hate bringing it up in the sense of like, woe is me kind of thing. But 4 years of spinal rehabilitation and back surgeries and procedures and stuff. And for them to say like, you'll never deadlift or squat again, or like, you'll never heavy lift again, shit like that. Like, yeah, cool. I could listen to them and that'd be a justification. Like it'd be a valid excuse to listen to them. But I didn't want to do that because it'd be fucking boring. Like what life is that where that's what I get to do now for the rest of my life? Hey, a thing that I love doing, training and playing footy and stuff. Oh, I can't do it. Well, that sucks. Like I can still walk. My arms still work. My legs still work. I've fucking interrupted pain in my back that comes and goes depending on what I'm doing. So work around it.
Yeah, like I was saying, of all the things, he picked the physique sport and said that his metabolism was too fast. It's
right? I mean, you're probably not as bad as they've diagnosed you as. I found that out the fucking very easy way when what they told me was going to happen didn't happen. And generally that's just what I find happens, especially like not all specialties and specialities, but like you also have to consider the doctor has to cover their best practice as well, like their like ethics and responsibility. So they're going to say, hey, you have this, you probably shouldn't do these things. Yeah, you're a fucking grown adult. Make some choices. Like, do you want to do that or not?
Yeah, it's the best. It's like when you go to the doctors and try and get blood tests and it's like, I'm on steroids. Well, you should probably get off steroids. Thank you. I know, and I know you're going to say that because you need to say that because it's your job. Now, just give me the blood test. But yeah, same principle.
Could be using crystal meth.
Shit. Could be just fucking smoking and having a drink.
Yeah.
That's fine. I said I was a binge drinking alcoholic or I was smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. You'd be
chain smoking 2 packs a day. That's not a big deal.
You should probably give that up. Look at me like I'm a fucking junkie.
yeah. Let's look at the degrees here, like the variances and what you're trying to say. But yeah, I mean, it's become such a fucking entitled mindset that's killing me that like it's rather than looking for the reason to get out and do something, people are finding a reason to validate not doing something, and it fucking kills me. Like there has never been a better time to live as a human and achieve something. Never once ever. Doesn't matter what gender or sex or fucking age or weight or whatever you are. There's never been a better time to be alive and make something happen for yourself. And people still try and find a way to say that shit's hard or this happened or they can't do this. And it's like, yeah, cool. We appreciate that and understand that. But at the same time, if you're in, let's say, Australia, you're in a 21st century Western cultural society where you literally have the internet at the palm of your hand. Go do shit, make it happen. Like there's a whole idea that like you need to validate why you didn't get things done. And fucking what was that post like FOMA or some shit? It was on like that fucking post I sent last night.
Oh, like, happened.
Yeah, like just fuck. Like shit. Like once you eliminate the conversation of what isn't in your control, you can then simply focus on the things that are in your control and start to make decisions based on that. And I promise you, when you stop looking at things that aren't in your control and start primarily focusing on what you have power over, you start to make better decisions and make more things happen and get better results, regardless of what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but generally, if you sit there simply looking at the things that you have no responsibility or control over, and once it's diagnosed or once you have that thing and it's out of your, like, that's it, it's out of your control. You can't do anything about it. Cool. I acknowledge that. I'll give you that. No issue. But if you stay there and simply focus on that, what the fuck life is that? Like, what are you going to do for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years? Like, that's it? Like, you just stay and that's your card now? Like, cool. I play this card because I had a shit 22nd year on Earth. Cool, man. You still have 50 more. Like, you're just going to play that card now for the rest of your life? No one gives a fuck. Move on.
Yes, that's exactly what... So we seem to have hit a soft spot.
We hit a nerve.
Oh man, it's just fucking just, I don't know, like there's so many words I want to describe it as, but I can't because we'll definitely get in trouble. But like, just stop being weak-minded. Like
if you spell it out, maybe it'll be okay.
C-U-N. No.
Yeah.
No, it's just like it made me realize just how like, I don't know, I fucking hate the idea of like saying built different and that sort of shit. But at the same time, like there's just people who just actually go out and get shit done and just make things happen, like regardless of the circumstance that comes up in front of them. And that's not to disrespect anyone else. It just simply is the fact. Like there's some things that people just simply just get hung up on and just get stuck at, and that's it. And they'll make that decision. And there's other people that will see that and just go, cool, that's a fucking hurdle. Let's jump over it. I'm going to learn to high jump.
Yeah. I mean, again, not wrong. It's just that the mentality and of people, right? And it's just, I think, living now more in a society where it's like it's okay to be subpar, and it's kind of like, I mean, you want to be subpar
for everybody.
It's like, yeah, you just want to be subpar. Well,
oh, that hit another nerve for Ben too.
Just taking shots at Ben today because it's fun.
Yeah, why not? My estrogen's high.
How? HRT. For fuck's sake.
I'm talking about my doses, guys. Let's talk about yours.
So we're talking about is like your HRT, like HRT or HRT. Neck minute 600 milligrams a test. Like that's not HRT, dude.
It is to us.
It's like HRT doesn't mean one compound only and taking a gram of it. Yeah, like that's not how this works.
It just means ester cycling, right? Like I just changed substances. That's all it means.
Just trying to resensitize that androgen receptor, right?
Yeah, that's why he takes 1 gram in test instead of 2, because it's resensitizing.
Exactly. It's just that back off phase. It's 50% less. Well, sorry, 100% less.
It took Tren out as well, so they're going to resensitize. So when he introduces Tren again, that's going to be all good.
I can just go back to punching people and hit my car
for no reason.
Yeah. Isn't that why everyone else takes Tren?
100%. Should we move on to questions?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, cool. I like it.
Yeah, that'll just keep getting more and more emotional.
You fucking estrogen dominant human.
Before I know it, they're all in a fucking circle singing Kumbaya.
With the guitar.
I mean, do you reckon like us three, like before we go into chat into questions, they're like us three, are we that different, or do we just simply like know what we want to do and go out and do it? Because I don't think I literally don't look at any of us and think there's anything special at all that just hasn't been years of like monotonous behavior and fucking dedication to learning something. And we're not even at the top of the game yet. Like, I wouldn't even say we're like peak fucking yet, but at the same time, it's like there's just, nothing crazy about us. Where I'd be like, oh fuck, they were just lucky to get what they got and that's it.
I mean, luck probably has a little to do with it, even though a lot of people will never say that, you create your own luck. So it's kind of like, I mean, yes and no. But at the same time, like you work for it. Like if you have your goal, you work for it. And I don't know, like I've been brought up in an environment where if I want something, I got to go bust my ass until I get it. And that's just how it's been since I was fucking 4 years old. So it's just how my dad brought me up. So,
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm much the same as well. It's just, I mean, I feel like a lot of your experiences when you're younger kind of shape the way that you, I suppose, perceive situations. Like you said before, I suppose when my childhood, I was fucking 12, 13 years old, younger. My parents would make me have a job. I'd have to go pick fruit. My granddad would have me on the station barking posts. I was fucking doing shit with cattle. I was mustering cattle when I was like, 10, 12 years old on a horse by myself. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I feel like those experiences shape me that honestly nothing that I do now is harder than what I had to do when I was younger.
Yeah.
So it's just everything I do now is easy. Like I train, and that's the one hard thing that I feel like I have to do for the day, but it's also the most enjoyable. So, and then too, I suppose when it comes to me actually, going into the space of like fitness and all that, I kind of knew from quite a young age. Obviously, I started competing when I was very young. So even then, I suppose there's an element of luck that I found what I wanted to do when I was very young. But I mean, in saying that too, like I also, as soon as I graduated, I just on a whim moved down to Melbourne. So, and I just knew that this is where more opportunities would be for me. So obviously, when I first met Aaron, when I first moved down here like 3 years ago. So it's just one of those things, like you said, you create your own luck, but at the same time, there is an element to this of you're just going to have to fucking work hard at it as well. Like, it's not like you become a success overnight. You really need to start putting down the foundations and continue to fucking work at this. It's like, you don't get good at bodybuilding. You don't get good at anything in life without investing a ton of time into it. Like people will see the physique that, you've got, or the physique that you present, or maybe how strong you are at something, but they don't see the 10 years prior to this that You've been grinding day in, day out, dragging your ass through fatigue. You've still been fucking dealing with your own shit on the side outside of everything that you have to do. Not to get too, in depth with fucking all that sort of stuff, but not
this what happens when you have too much trend.
But yeah, look, you have to work for these things, but at the same time, it's I don't know. I'm struggling to find words because
it's funny. I feel like the mentality of working hard, like in the gym, also carries over. It's like a cyclical effect in that, usually you're brought up if you're wanting something or, working for something, and you take that mentality into the gym, and they're the ones that tend to do a little bit better in the gym or at their sports because they have that background. And then you got those others where they've had it pretty easy. They've coasted through quite a bit. And again, it's not their fault half the time. Like, they're lucky if their parents are, filthy rich. It's like, fuck, well, shit, if my parents are filthy rich, I wouldn't be mad. Right.
Yeah.
But then they get to the gym, they get to a sport where they actually have to, put effort in. And it's like, that's when it tells you about the person. It's like, okay, which way are they going to react?
Yeah.
Like those that are brought up with that attitude, it's easy. You just go to the gym, like, you're going to put the work in, train hard. And at the end of the day, you're going to get a result at some point. Whereas those that were brought up a little bit, more sheltered, I guess, then, they get to, let's say, use the gym as the example. They get to the gym, they get on a leg press, and it's like, you'll see them either finish 10 reps shy of failure and be like, oh, I got a good pump, or you see them go balls to wall, can't do another rep. It's like, the gym will tell you.
It's all on you. It is literally all on you. Like, I've done a lot of team sports in the past, and again, one of the things that drives me is obviously winning as well. So I just love to win. It could be Monopoly, it could be fucking golf, it could be, it doesn't matter what it is. I always like to win. So for me, it's like, it just is a natural thing that every single day I can just take my win for the day. If I get a little PR, a 1-rep PR, or a little bit extra load on something, I fucking love that because I get my win for the day and I can go on my way and I'm happy and I feel fulfilled. And I suppose that progression is the only thing in my life that really makes me feel like very fulfilled, is knowing that there's something that I can continue to progress at long term. And obviously people look at, bodybuilding and they're like, oh, look at this guy, he's fucking lifts weights and does this, does that. But like at the end of the day, the physique for me is like, it's not really the end goal. It's not really what I care about. It's the fact that I can actually progress at something and continue to get better and better and better and better at it as a means of dealing with my, competitive drive that I now also don't have to rely on other people to do this, So like obviously with the team sport, if someone fucks up, you could lose a game.
Yeah.
Which, happens all the time and you get pissed off. But at the same time, if you lose at this, it's really on you. If you sandbag a set, if you fucking miss a meal, if you miss a cardio session, you miss getting your fucking activity in, it's all on you. There is not an aspect of this that's not on you. It's all within your control.
And the beauty is if you do train with us, you actually learn as well. We talk about moment arms, we talk about axis, we talk about torque. No.
But even the strength curve and mechanical tension.
Yes, we make sure it's educational and fun.
Yeah, like coming from like a sport background too. Like like a group sport background, like team sports. You get people too who coast. Like when you play, like you look at AFL, league, whatever. I remember like plenty of teams I played in where there was a coasting player or two that just simply like either mum got upset they weren't playing, so they had to be a part of the team and simply just rode out on the wing or something like that. Where it was just like, I could really do with a better play here, but also like there's just a guy who's getting the trophy at the end of the season, but didn't really contribute to that. So they can kind of like, you just got players in the team who can just sort of ride the wave with everyone else putting the effort and don't have to do much or just aren't that good. And so they don't really put in much or don't contribute much. Whereas in an individual sport like bodybuilding, you got your team of like, I guess your coach around you and mates you might train with, but to the degree of like failure and pushing intensity, focusing on adherence, hitting numbers, consistently missing meals, making choices at the end of the day to not go out and not do things that might interrupt those like actions, it all literally resonates and resides in the choices you make and the decisions when you make them. And that, as a consequence, gives you your result. There's no other thing I've done where that is the pure outcome.
Yeah, exactly right. It's just like I said, it's a mentality thing. It's just some people have it, some people don't. Some people develop it, some people don't. So, yeah.
Fair point. So I'd sort of fucking dive in there, throw a little bit at the end there, get Chris a bit riled up.
Taking it real deep. I love taking it deep.
It's something I've never been able to do. Getting told. Can you go deeper? Oh, fuck.
Why are you crying?
That's usually after 20 seconds.
All right,
it's half an hour. 30 seconds of work and 29 minutes of me shivering in the corner crying.
Just rocking back and forward.
It's the same as a plank. All right. Should we move on to actual questions now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So should we move to a funny one or a serious one? I feel like we're going to start with a funny one, right?
Yeah, we went pretty serious there.
Serious. Yeah, we'll get very deep.
Yeah, Chris got super emotional and his train was kicking in.
I nearly started tears rolling down my cheeks.
His gyno started to accentuate.
So we have a fuck, marry, kill.
Of course we do.
This is going to apply to both of you since, well, I mean, I do love league as well, but still. So we have Joey Johns.
Yep.
Matty Johns.
Yep.
Or Paul Harrigan.
Oh. That's my fantasy threesome.
It's like I'm fucking marrying and killing them all.
Knights 97 grand final, baby.
I think you've got to marry Joey Johns. He's too good, right?
Yeah, 100%.
He's too good. And I mean, Matty Johns just fits in well, so I'm going to fuck him. Fits in well with the family.
Yeah.
You can say you've done the
Fits in well with the family.
Yeah. But I mean, Chief is just so fucking funny. Like you think of like the 20s. The 2000s era of the footy show, like fuck, he was funny.
Yeah, he was. See, I feel like I'd be married.
Joey and Matty Johns, they enjoy a good time, you know.
They enjoy a good time.
Was it Matty Johns that came out? Was it Matty Johns that came out with the
one's cocaine? One was with a massive group orgy with a team.
Cronulla.
Yeah.
Was it
Joey Johns? I'm pretty sure
it was
Joey
Cronulla.
Johns was the cokehead.
Yeah.
And
he was a thing.
Was the group sex thing.
Yeah, and wasn't he also the one that was not racist, but made a few comments that were a little bit taken the wrong way? Or am I going crazy? I feel like it was Matty Johns that said it.
Probably both have, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't think it was Matty. It was a big thing. Because it was to do with
off a show. Because I know that he had his own.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was from. It was to do with State of Origin, from memory. Looking at New South Wales, looking at the New South Wales team, they didn't have like Indigenous players, and he said something, and it was kind of like, I don't know, just deemed racist from memory.
No, I don't remember that part.
Yeah,
you got me there. But I mean, you gotta. I don't know. Chief's just good value, but at the same time, like you're not having a bad time with either Johns.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm probably going to marry Harrigan just because he's hilarious. Matty, I'm probably.
You're going to kill him. You have to.
I'm probably going to kill him only because Joey.
You got to fucking go. Like you're fucking God. Like
he's the fucking best halfback of all time.
There's nothing else you can say or do.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one, to be honest. Same. Should we then move to here's a one for Ben. Ben will like this question.
Oh, fuck.
Is this serious or is this?
No, it's a semi-serious educational question, we'll call it. Biggest misunderstanding around dopamine and motivation.
Biggest misunderstanding around dopamine.
This is why I said he'd like it.
Flips the table, brain freeze. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about here. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Shit.
And we're editing that out of the podcast.
No,
we didn't edit out your toilet trip last week either. We just sort of rolled with it. Nah, just kept going.
Fuck. Like actually kept recording.
No, we paused it when you said pause, but we didn't edit out you asking us to pause it. We just fuck it. We're just gonna roll with it.
Yeah. As long as they didn't hear me pissing.
No, well, I hope not.
Is that prostate cancer? No, so one of the things they've just recently found in the difference of motivation and dopamine is everyone was looking at dopamine as a reward pathway, and that was leading to increasing habitual behavior. But what they actually started to find is that dopamine is actually a motivational factor. What they did is inject rats in the brain with that's
very vivid.
A drug that anti-dopamine receptors blocked the dopamine receptors so that the dopamine couldn't be taken up, and found that the rats, once far enough away from the thing they wanted to do, just simply lost motivation to do it. So they were looking at more, they were presuming that the rats were obsessing over the compounds like sugar or cocaine as a habit and addiction process. Actually, it found out when it's far enough away from the thing that it's trying to do, and dopamine is blocked, they will just becoming less motivated about actually doing the thing. So it was more recognizing that dopamine is less about habit or addiction forming and more about a motivational compound.
Yep.
So it's actually super interesting. Super interesting for how, because literally up until this study, Rat Park, drug addictions, habit formations, all this stuff, everyone looked at dopamine as it was a chemical or hormone to do with fucking addiction and habit forming. As opposed to, I guess, a reward pathway, as opposed to a motivational pathway. So it kind of flipped its head right on that. It was a key in the theory of addiction around food and food addictions that people were trying to argue. Food addiction, I use fucking loosely.
Cocaine.
I had that question yesterday regarding ADD and dopamine, and it's kind of it was actually believed that they had less dopamine receptors in the brain with people that had ADD. That's an ADHD. It's kind of false in that the myth of them wanting to eat more carbs because they have a higher rate. It's no, it's complete opposite. I've never heard of that myth, to be honest. I'm I've never heard of a carb myth, ADD people or people with ADD wanting more, I guess.
I guess I must have ADD.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's why you take it a block.
I just like Adderall.
I've got all the Ritalin. What?
All the Ritalin.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. But anyway, we digress. Let's go. Let's have a fun one. When I say fun, I mean drugs. So just in case people are wondering, this isn't anything serious. What are the consequences of never coming off cycle from a negative feedback loop on test production?
Gains.
Literally year-round gains. It's just year-round fucking gains. Anyway, anyone want to kick this one off?
Man, it's that's your fun one. I can see the erection throbbing from here.
As we're talking about this, and I think it definitely makes more sense to at least, obviously we're not giving any specific recommendations here. This is all.
Yes, we are.
And as always, do not do drugs on the trend.
It definitely comes back to, I feel you're better off going down a route where if you're going to come off, you are going to come off altogether. You don't plan on coming back on because there's not really that much of a point. The harshness of, the drugs that you would need to, use in order to come back and reestablish things very, very quickly. You're probably just better off staying off for a longer period of time. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm with you in that. If you plan on coming off and going back on and going through this bounce around, it's just horrendous on your HPG axis.
Give the analogy actually you were telling me with the car battery.
I was playing around with a car battery analogy in that, how many times?
Where were you hooking it to?
My nipples. No, how when you flick the ignition on and off, and it's just the battery starts to die every time you run the car effectively. How many times can you get away with that before the battery actually dies? And that's sort of your HPG axis. It's only so many times you're going to be able to switch it on and off before it just decides to tell you, fuck off. So it's just, if you're going to stay on, you're better off probably moving from super physiological doses to HRT doses. And again,
people's HRT means true HRT, not
pill
HRT, regardless of how.
When we say HRT, we mean actually do your blood work and check that your testosterone levels are in the actual ranges, maybe even if it's at the upper end of the range, as long as it's within the actual standardized ranges, it's technically HRT, TRT. When we look at that, again, as much as I don't use or like to use milligram per kilogram dosages anymore, I like to just really work on blood work. You're looking at probably half a milligram to a milligram per kilo for most people. Broderick has a really nice theory or a really nice analogy of sports HRT. So if you're a bodybuilder, for example, and you've accrued all this. Yeah, if you have this whole new muscle mass that you've built, to retain muscle mass, you're probably looking at a bit of higher dosage. That sort of 3, maybe 4 milligram, even up to 5, he reckons, per kilo of body weight. Again, that's to completely keep the new muscle that you've built. I think it's also based on size. It's like, if you've done one cycle in a crude muscle, you probably don't need to keep it at 3 to 5 milligram per kilo. Just saying, you're still technically like growing, for those that are a bit more experienced and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just shit on your HPG axis. It's like you're turning it off and on. Your hormones like your LH and your FSH have to keep fucking turning on and off. And it's just like, fuck that.
It's a massive physiological stressor you put on your body too. Like that just like,
huge
fuck me.
Yeah, it's just not worth the strain.
Yeah. Not to mention you've got to go through fucking just a shit period of just like, just fucking riding it out. You're still going to feel terrible. So like, why would you want to put yourself through something like that? Unless, obviously we only discuss the application in potential for things like increasing fertility, potentially, someone wants to have some kids or something like that. But outside of that, like it's really a massive physiological stress to continuously just come on, come off. So the whole analogy that, I suppose people use, I'm just going to stop using for a little bit and do this and do that. Like, things like fucking Clomid and stuff like that are very, very harsh on the lipid profile, very, very harsh at just drugs in general. So you'd be better off just getting your blood work done first and foremost. And then using that as a point of reference to, okay, we need to go down to HRT, bring tests back to a physiological range, or, we're ready to keep it back and we're ready to push again into that super physiological range again. But yeah, the notion that you need to come on, come off. I think it's a little bit flawed and it's a little bit outdated. It just doesn't really make a ton of sense.
Because we're also getting to the point now where evidence is supporting HRT as we get older anyway. Exactly. You're not going to go back to a, I guess, hypo level below. Like when you look at older gentlemen, we start getting towards 35, 40, testosterone production really starts to diminish. We hit that point where it's just like your body fucking hates it. So even going to HRT level is beneficial for a fucking multitude of reasons in terms of like mental health, physiological health, skeletal muscle mass, general fucking health function, benefits of other like what testosterone does in the blood and body. Like if you just simply stop and come off and shut down, or you don't come off properly and everything just drops and shuts off, like you're going to fucking feel like shit. You're going to shut down so many pathways and just affect your body, as opposed to just simply staying on a HRT dose, which, let's be honest, if you go and see a doctor, they're probably going to put you on anyway because you've just superficially dropped it down. And so they're probably going to put you on it to bring you back up. So you're going to get it anyway.
And what a lot of people forget too with the PCT drugs, like most common ones, usually HCG that comes. HCG is really, really potent in that it increases your estrogen quite a bit. So having, low testosterone constantly and then having high estrogen just keep funneling in, even though estrogen is good for us, high levels of estrogen or the balance of estrogen to testosterone. Right? Yeah, exactly. With the balance of testosterone to estrogen, if that's skewed, usually either way, it's pretty bad. It can be pretty bad.
There's a reason we have a correlation between the age that men's testosterone starts to very rapidly diminish or come down, and where men start to have midlife crises. Just saying.
I was literally thinking the same thing. It's like a lot of people go through that, 35 to 45 period where they have that midlife crisis and just do whacked out shit.
Yep.
And they wonder
average age of divorce in Australia. Sorry, the highest age bracket of divorce in Australia is 45 to 55. Mm-hmm. So you think that there's not anything to do with that, like underdosed level of testosterone? Imagine the amount of men that are going through like midlife depressions and like the physiological responses of like dad bod, as we're calling it nowadays, where like you're getting dudes that are just hyper stressed, high in estrogen, low in testosterone, eating shit diets and not sleeping. And and they just feel like shit. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you're depressed. And also like, turns out you have no testosterone. I mean, is there a correlation there? Probably likely.
Yeah, I would imagine there would be. I think that's it for the
we covered that one. That was nice.
Questions. That was nice. Should we just cut that snippet and we'll promote it on Instagram, or should we move back to our new favorite game?
Yeah, I was going to say, what's on the game today?
Okay, so should we start? Let's start with an easy one.
Just a tip. Just a tip.
This is a discussion question.
Spit on it first and just a tip.
Hey, that could apply here. What's quiet, sticky, and ashamed?
Me after having sex.
I was going to say Chris post-workout.
Me right now when I got home. Is there an actual answer, or it's just open to interpretation?
No, it's an open interpretation.
Is that legit? Is that all it is? It's just
that was a question. Yeah, that was a question.
I like that.
I thought it would start simple.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, so we're going with Chris post-workout. Got it.
Pre-workout.
It's just Chris.
Actually, that was me pre-comp at Arnold's. I remember I was so long depleted and just so fucked in the head. On the Friday, Arnold's was on the Saturday. I was covered in my tan, just sitting on the couch in Dalton's apartment because they came down to Melbourne, and I was just sitting there just staring at my phone. And I didn't realize we were in 20 minutes. My phone was blank, and I was just like near crying. I was just like fucking trash. I was like,
at that point. You're just sitting there and what was going through your head?
I think at that point I was like
so interesting the way that people that come into shows and they feel a certain way, and
I think it was a mixture of like my size, and I was like, well, I'm not going to win, so what's the point?
Okay, so it was your unhappiness with your look. So
yeah.
Drastic difference going into a show knowing I'm looking fucking sick versus fuck, this is a big show. I'm probably not looking my best. My conditions.
Well, it wasn't even like condition stuff was good. It improved from the week before. It was more so just like my overall size when I saw like the Chasers and the fucking Jake Nicolopoulos. Like it was the biggest Arnold's in history, and I was just like, yeah, right. So we know where I stand. And we got down there, and I was just like, it's just one of those snap mindsets where I was like, I was so obsessively focused on winning, and the fact that like, well, this is probably not going to be my year to win. So, and then it was like all happening in my head whilst just staring at my phone, and I'm just like, it's probably not going to happen. I was like,
anyone look at you and you're like, bro, you're right.
Yeah, Dalton. He just standing there looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, I don't think I'm going to do this, man. He's like, shut the fuck up. I was like, I don't know. And he's like, I reckon I was actually standing at my phone for like a good 15 minutes, just nothing on it, not doing a thing, and just like blankly staring. And so that was me pre-comp. Sticky, emotional, and just.
I'm interested to see how Aaron is pre-comp.
We'll see. You're going to be if you're looking after me, I'm sure I'll be right.
I'll definitely be there. I've got like 5 athletes in that show, so it's gonna be good.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Season B?
Potentially. We'll see how
he's doing season B. He's doing season
B. We'll see how things go.
He's doing season B. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, none of this like fluid date bullshit.
None of this fluid date. I'll just get on stage when I'm in shape.
When I feel like I'm ready. Fuck.
No, it's more so I have to pay attention to my clients because they pay me for a service. And if I have too many, I look after my clients first.
Hey, Chris, does that sound like excuses to you already?
I did the same in powerlifting. I'll do the same.
Chris, does that sound like excuses to you already?
You're already using a powerlifting term, but I will be there to handle you on the day. So you have to do shit. You can worry about your clients. Johnny's got clients competing as well, and I'm prepping him. So he'll. I don't give a fuck about Johnny. I like him, but I don't give a fuck about him.
All right, here we go. Debate.
Johnny,
3 words. I do love Johnny. I'm not. I like him. I'm just saying, I love you. I don't know you, so I don't give a fuck about you. But I like you.
Johnny, what do you mean?
So I said I just said that I love Johnny, but I just don't give a fuck about Johnny. What did I just say?
Snippet this bit and just share this.
He's going to listen to it and be like, fair call. I'm like,
Aaron doesn't give a fuck about Johnny, and just share that.
Well, I don't know him enough to give a fuck. There's only so many fucks I can give, Ben. And you two take up most of them. So for fuck's sake.
I don't get them properly though.
Debate. 3 words that will guarantee you get dumped.
Your mum's hotter.
Oh, your sister's hotter.
No, you missed out. Your brother's hotter.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that because my
your dad looks good. Those legs thick.
I was going to say just like I love lamp, but same.
Is it off season?
When she asks you, do I look fat in these jeans? Always say no. Universal rule, always say no. Just
that'd be your 3 words. That'd be your 3 words. Yes, you do.
Oh God.
Do you want an open, honest relationship here, or do you want to lie?
It's just thinking about that.
So how do I approach this topic? All right, this one
question off the show.
Just now the Aaron and Chris show. You know what we should have called this? ABC.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, anyway. How cool I am after legs day. Anyway, discuss. You have the power to give one game player, us being the game players, a super inconvenient fetish. Who and what fetish would you choose?
Are they any different to my already existing fetishes?
I mean, depends.
What classified as a weird fetish? Like what? Like is? Do you guys think foot fetish is weird?
I mean, it's a tricky one. Like Yeah.
I don't find any fetish weird
like,
because it's like contextual dependent.
But I don't want to get jacked off by feet.
Yeah, like I don't have it, but at the same time, like,
I don't have any weird enough fetishes that it's like that it's warranted. Like I'm not into.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying like tie me up and hook car batteries to my nipples, but I mean, if you're into that, you've watched too much hentai porn or something. Like your level for like
participate, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it comes up, like
it's Euro trip. Yeah. What's the safe word?
Initiated under sex.
Start screaming that. Just trying to think. An inconvenient fetish.
Maybe like, I don't know.
Is there a fetish that you need to like rub one out when you see like a red car or something? Like that'd just be hilarious.
That's not bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, inconvenient. So it's kind of like, you're walking down the street, you see a red car, you're like, fuck.
You're one of those astrology chicks who can only fuck when Mercury's in retrograde and it's a full moon.
There you go.
Want to see my crystals?
I'm going to charge them because it's a full moon tonight.
Hey, Ben, what's your star sign?
Marry me now, please.
I could have guessed it.
That's such a rationalization.
It's so funny. It's like you could literally say whatever star sign you wanted, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I could have gotten that."
Yeah, totally could have guessed it. Totally could have guessed it.
Or you give them the wrong one, and it's like, "Oh yeah." It's like I was kidding.
What's your birth time?
Yeah. Have you seen that meme where it's like, "Mum, what time was I born and what day?" And all the mum replies back is, "She's not worth it." I was like, yes, so good.
So mum's looking out for you.
Yeah.
The strangest. Yeah, here we go. This is the strangest song to trigger your post-breakup crying meltdown.
The strangest song.
I'm Blue.
Man, I'm actually a big fan of country music, so I listen to a lot of country music.
Yeah, I could have guessed that.
You could have guessed that. I'm a bit of a hick, I'm from the deep far north, so.
Big Lukey Combs fan over here.
I love Luke Combs.
Yeah, Luke Combs good. Can bust out some Luke Combs.
Yeah, Luke Combs.
I thought you were going to go with Troy Casadei there or something.
He's old hat, bro. He's like Lee Kernaghan. They're all old.
Oh, Lee Kernaghan.
You said country, bro. That's old country. You don't get much more old country than Troy Casadei.
I'm talking like Keith Urban, Florida.
Yeah, so you want to go young and retro fucking country.
Yeah. Young and retro country. I'm not talking like I mentioned last week, like fucking Slim Dusty and
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson does have some good songs, but
he's a pioneer. What can we say?
You actually really like the Piano Man by Kenny Rogers.
Oh, wait, Piano Man isn't Kenny Rogers?
Who sings Piano Man?
It's Elton.
Piano Man is Elton John. No, Billy Joel. It's Billy Joel.
Billy Joel?
No, it is too. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Is it really Billy Joel that sings Piano Man?
Google it.
I need to Google this.
Piano Man.
All right, you guys can Google it. I don't have to Google
Billy
it.
Joel.
He's Billy Joel, right?
Yeah.
It is too. What else does Billy Joel sing?
Look, that's about all I know.
Yeah.
It's like one of those one songs where it's like, yeah, okay, that's cool.
Who did I say? Did I say Kenny Rogers?
Fucking
Kenny Rogers. You did say Kenny Rogers.
You get Kenny Rogers with Piano Man.
I'm trying to think what does Kenny Rogers sing?
What song do you think Kenny Rogers sang that sounds
The
like
Gambler?
Piano Man?
That's basically
Gambler.
Piano Man.
Actually, no, it's the Gambler. Sorry, that's the song I was thinking of, not Piano Man. Gambler. That's the song. That was actually Rogers. It was just a wrong song. I was going
to say, I feel like the lyrics are nowhere near similar either.
Not even the same song. Not even the same melody or tune.
Yeah, nothing. Nothing.
Today. Translates pretty hard before.
So wait, do we actually have a song that's weird that's going to make you cry after you break up?
Yeah, The Gambler.
The Gambler. Right, have we got The Gambler? What do you got, Ben?
I don't know. No, I got nothing.
The Greatest Showman.
Okay. Haven't got into it.
And I love that the whole album, the whole soundtrack to that movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking sick. Have you watched it?
You're a strange cat.
Maybe.
Nah.
You know what was a good
a
good soundtrack? Rock of Ages. Rock of Ages had a fucking mid soundtrack.
Can't say I've listened to Rock of Ages either.
It's a movie, Tom Cruise movie, and he's in it. Like they basically just recreate like all these 80s songs, but like in a movie.
Yeah.
No.
But that's not. Do they do the one where he slides on in the socks with the Ray-Bans on?
Isn't that friggin'?
I don't think so.
Jerry Maguire.
That's Jerry Maguire. Yeah, that's
Jerry Maguire, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway,
moving close
today.
Close but no cigar.
Your cannibal grandma loves a cock sandwich. How do you feed her?
You didn't pick a song, Aaron. What do you
I didn't either. Weird song that's going to make me cry after a breakup.
I want the deepest song that you listen to.
Yeah, but it's got to be weird. It can't be like
feeling like a piece of shit.
And it has to.
So just imagine you stop tests, you feel like
that's not a weird song. That's like a legitimate make sense song. It has to be weird. So it'd be something like fucking Backstreet Boys or some bullshit.
Hey,
they kind of slap.
He's up.
I'm a Barbie girl. That's it. Done.
Yeah, you are a bit of a plastic bitch, so that makes sense.
There you go. See, shut up, you with your estrogen so high because you're on TRT. All right. Anyway, moving on to the next question. Your cannibal grandma loves a cock sandwich. How do you feed her habit?
Bro, she's probably dying, to be honest. I'm not making that trade. I'm not making that. Sorry.
Yeah. I barely speak to my my oldies as it is. So sorry, love.
Man, you guys are boring on this question game, though. The people that are recommending these games and wanting
I bet she's
participating.
I bet she's getting a Cheerio anyway, so she's gonna be malnourished.
Well, how are you going to do it, Aaron? What the fuck are you going to give her?
I'd probably go kill some guys and cut off their dicks or something. That. Like you guys are you're thinking like you have to give her your own dick. Like what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, but
well, I mean, it's what I've been usually doing, so it makes sense.
Like you can go to a lab, take some cadaver dicks. Like fuck, man.
Just eat normal meat. Even if she's a cannibal, she's still going to eat meat, right?
Yeah, but that's what she loves, and that's what if grandma loves, that's what she gets.
This actually isn't a question. It's just what Scaffy loves. It's just he was just like rephrasing a little bit.
He wrote that question.
That loves himself a cock meat sandwich.
It's how I get my protein in. All right, what do you reckon? Oh, one more. What do we got?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, boring. Who is the worst character to have as a roommate?
What kind of character is it? Out of us three?
No, it's not specific. So we'll just
any sort of character.
Worst character. I mean, should we pick a category or something like an animated or a movie of like? I feel like Hulk. Hulk could be the worst. I feel like Hulk could be the worst roommate. Like everything's just getting trashed.
Clean up.
That's only if you're making him mad, though.
Well, like if you look at like MCU Hulk now, he's just MCU Hulk. He's just Hulk all the time.
Yeah, he can't fit through the door. His fine motor skills are going to be very poor. Picking up plates and shit, he's going to be smashing them in his hand.
You're living like you have to have two separate rooms, two separate like my stuff and Hulk stuff. Otherwise, it's just everything's getting trashed.
How the fuck's he getting him through the door?
Yeah, like how's he getting in the room to begin with?
Yeah. MCU Hulk, he's just Hulk all the time now. So it's
you can't really have the Hulk as a roommate then if you can't even get in the house.
Are you picking Hulk? Who are you picking?
I wouldn't pick up if we're going to stick with Marvel.
Are we sticking with Marvel? Okay.
Well, I don't know. Is that what we're
crazy
going with?
witch bitch?
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
I was going to say either him or Vision because Vision's just way too proper and like direct. Like every time you get something.
He get away with anything.
He also pops into the fucking walls. Like, what if you mid-jack one off? He's just like, whoa.
See?
Boundaries. What the fuck,
at least it won't hit him in the eye. You can just like phase through it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine just like you try and say something, he's just like, actually, you're wrong. It's like, well, fuck off, man.
Sorry,
it's like talking to us.
Piece of end of beginning of time.
Actually, fuck that question. I said, Scaff, that we should answer. Our most awkward sex stories. But how'd that come up? I can't remember how that came up. That's gotta be it.
So we're gonna finish.
That's the finishing question.
Wait, was it most awkward sex? No, was it sex injury? No. It was something to do with sex. I can't remember.
You injured yourself during sex before?
No, actually, I haven't.
Already on hip out or two, but nothing like drastic.
Yeah, I can't say I've injured myself having sex, but
I think was
it awkward story or was it?
Yeah, like it'd be most awkward story, surely. Like that fits. Most awkward story.
It was here. I don't know if I have an awkward story now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I had something. Yeah, I feel like when we were chatting, like we both had something. I can't remember what it was, so I don't know if that was a direct question.
Well, I mean, you had gonorrhea, but that's just different. I mean, I don't know what that's got to do with anything.
That wasn't from sex, bro.
That bugger pussy.
It's the side effect of too much treadmill.
The whole footy team uses it.
You've been playing Mountain State?
Yeah.
I feel like I can't answer that if I'm the only one with one. You guys got to have something.
No, you can answer it.
I mean, I feel like everyone's got to have something to contribute here.
I mean, I could give you an awkward. Oh no. Oh. Awkward, yeah, I guess it probably falls into. I mean, okay, first you go and I'll deem if it's awkward. I've got one. No
matter what, you have to come up with a story.
I've got one. I just don't know if it's deemed awkward or.
Right, I know.
You know, nearly caught. Like
my most awkward one was like, I think it pushes on the realm of like the start of a porno, but it just didn't go that way. And it was in high school, and I bailed on school to go to my girlfriend at the time's house. And
he was about to say X.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And anyway, she's what's the word? Stroking the strudel. And pretty much like we just got out of the shower. So there's nothing on either of us. And we're presuming the house is empty. And I don't know how the fuck it happened, but her mum comes in from a room door that's like at the side of the house. Like and all you hear is like, vision. Yeah. I was laying on the bed facing the door and all I hear is busted. And then she disappears. But the most awkward part is it never got brought up again.
Yeah, that's legendary.
Never got mentioned. Like we were both alone with her mum in the car at different points. Never came up.
That's a good mum right there. Like that's
she minds her business. Good.
I mean, I've seen enough pornos where she was supposed to come in and be like, "Here, let me show you how it's done," but that didn't happen.
She's supposed to assist.
Exactly. Here, you're not stroking it properly. Oh, all right. Let me show you, step bro.
All right. Well, I mean, so you basically getting caught or nearly getting caught, kind of similar to the one that I've got. I remember way back late teens, being at like my girlfriend at the time's place, and we were in her room under the covers in her bed. She had a very young sister at the time, so her parents had adopted. So we were like 18, 19. Her sister would have been like 3 or 4. So we've closed the door, basically going at it under the doona, both naked. And then sister just walks in, doesn't knock on the door. So we're like sideways facing the door, looking at her like she's trying to have a conversation. We're both naked under there. Like I'm still doing things under the cover while
I got a job to do, bitch.
Trying to make this harder, harder? Trying to make things more difficult. Trying to get the sister out. I remember that. Yeah, she got out. She's only like 3 or 4, so it's like I don't know. I think we told her to go get some food or something. It's like get out. Good times.
The creepiest thing in the world to me is a young girl on a tricycle or a swing. It like by them is like just you know scary movies where there's just like a young girl on the end of a street on a tricycle. They just freak the fuck out of me. They shouldn't be alone doing things like if you see I don't know, spray it with water or something. I don't know. They freak the fuck out.
Spray it with water. You fucking idiot.
She's just sitting there just watching next minute and she's just like la 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 la. He was like, all right, fucking let me slip out of here.
I've seen this movie, I'm out.
Yeah, I've seen this movie.
Anyway, I think that's it, unless you want to do one more, but I'm pretty sure
Chris has got to have something going on.
I actually have nothing for you with that. Like everything's been pretty much above board.
Country guys, at least
I'd have to think about it a lot more. I haven't really, you didn't give me enough time to really dig into the old memory.
I mean, that's the joy of it.
Yeah, I know, but nothing immediately comes to mind. Like I really have to think about it.
There was no farm animals and peanut butter at action. Like
farm animals, peanut butter. You'd think so, but no.
Like there was this one time.
It was Nutella.
It was actually strawberry jelly.
I need more time to think about it.
No, he needs more time to create the situation.
Create a situation.
Ask me this question again next week.
Comes out with a full elaborate porno he just watched.
Let me share my screen.
Cool boy.
Is this a story or fantasy? Who's been a naughty boy? Oh, I have.
Real or fake?
Should play that as a game.
But yeah, we play that real or fake.
Real or fake.
Before we get carried away, fucking with another hour-long conversation.
True. Do you want one more, or what do you want to do?
No, I'm good. I've got a chat soon. I think we'll We'll be here for fucking 3 hours. We keep answering questions.
This is also true. I mean, I've still got a ton of cards to go.
It's a good bit of content for a while, though.
210.
We've run out of nutrition knowledge. It's just playing this game now.
Just cards from the beginning to like 2 hours.
Like I said, it's still pretty cool that a listener actually suggested it. It's like, hey, do this. It's like, okay, we can do that.
Next week it's going to be like, it's just like, that was just a tip. Like someone got their foot in the door. They're like, oh, try this. And we just said, yes. Next is going to be, look, you should all do it naked with car batteries hooked up to your nipples. Okay.
We can do that with the live podcast that we do.
Yeah, that's in Melbourne. We're all doing that Dutch rudder style.
The whole point is to make the listeners happy. So got to do what we got to do.
Right, babe.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's leave it there then. Anything going on with you boys that we need to know about before we leave? Anything coming out? Anything?
Membership is up and running. So yeah, that's cool. That was a big thing for us. You got a monthly option, which is just literally $10 a month for fucking, basically it's going to be an unlimited reference of research, interaction, Q&As, Facebook groups, community. As it builds, you get to build with it. Or you've got the upfront option, which saves you 2 months. So it's $100 upfront, gets you 12 months, or you can pay month by month for $10.
Sounds good. Chrissy, anything interesting?
Couple things. I start contest prep in a week, which will be fun.
Exciting.
I have a bunch of clients competing in March as well. So I'll be doing season A. I'll be doing the double, where I have clients and I'm also competing myself. And then the final thing that I've been working on as well is one of the Strength Lab courses that we're coming out soon as well. So just in regards to like, physiology of fat loss, physiology of transformation, using MyFitnessPal, well, the whole works. There's a ton of content in there. So it's going to be fucking awesome once it's finished. But it is taking a while to write because, there's so much that goes into an element of delivering a transformation. And we want to make sure that it is the top quality, when we're delivering it. So the boys have given me an adequate amount of time to write it. So I'm doing my best.
All the drugs, all the volume, minimal recovery, cut all your food.
That's basically what it is.
Fuck yeah.
Pretty much. In a nutshell. Yeah, I've only got a mentorship, I think, that I'm launching next year. I think that's the only thing I've got going on. So as always, links in bio, jump in, inquire, have some fun, learn
and you're doing season B next year also.
Maybe.
Doing season B, because otherwise I'm just going to make him look like shit.
Good, because then Ben can come down as well, and Ben can compete in the Vic qualifier.
Yeah, I want to do a few shows, Scaffy, so fucking you got to be there.
Oh, yeah, you do too. I thought you said you weren't going to compete next year anyway.
No, I'll do season B. I'll do season B.
Okay.
Did you even listen to the start of the chat? Fuck.
Yeah, that was this chat. I'm talking about the chat we had like ages ago, and you're like, "Oh, I'm not going to do anything next year because I'm too busy with work and this new job."
The start of next year, season A. There's no point. Like, I don't want to start a new business and be fucking exhausted for clients. My first block of fucking training, I've got clients, and I'm just like,
That's fair. I'm just like what you said.
Season B.
Okay,
we're doing season B.
Doing all
we can bunk up. We can like help each other de-stress.
Yeah, lying on the fucking couch, just looking at your phone, tears running down your cheek.
I wasn't lying. I was seated. I was just sitting there by myself.
Just staring off into the abyss.
It's like you weren't completely just flat out on the couch.
Yeah. No, I was just seated. That's more creepy. I was just seated, just looking at my phone, looking at a pit of nothingness and despair.
Blank look.
That is your life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Looking at the competitor list, Jake Nicolopoulos. Fuck.
Right, boys, I'm out. We're all playing for second place now, so.
All right. Well, let's leave it there then. As always, thank you to the listeners. We will be back next week with some more absolute shit. So
guys,
goodbye.
Thank you for listening and tuning in.
Guys, thank you.